Jason, you're looking well. I am enjoying your new wall of fame behind you. Clear Picture Cares is one of the features that you do right here on your YouTube channel. And Clear Picture Financial is the name of the radio show, and it's Prime Capital Investment Advisors. It's all covered there on your new wall. It's very attractive.
Yeah, the only one behind me is the 20 Minutes of Clarity. That's with me and my co-host, Andy Merchant, where we go into more sophisticated, nuanced, niche type of conversations where we will interview a hedge fund manager or a private equity manager. But then him and I, where 20 Minutes of Clarity came up with, and it's just kind of funny. It's a podcast, and you could, wherever you find your podcast, you could check it out. Just type in my name or 20 Minutes of Clarity. But in those conversations, where it started is him and I, we drop off our kids in the morning, all right, to school, and we'll be on a phone call talking through about different stuff that's going on in the market or the economy. And one day Andy was like, how many people would probably want to hear two advisors going back and forth on a certain topic? And we've gotten a wonderful reactions from those who checked out the podcast, and they'd like just Andy and I going back and forth on different things. So check it out. But we got some really cool case studies, and I'm excited to get into those today with you.
Good. So today we are going to be talking about, now, just so you know, these are made up, but they could be real people.
Okay.
Each one of these three hypotheticals are inspired by real life scenarios. But of course, we have to give that disclaimer. So here we go, Jason. How can you help a 63 and 64-year-old couple, both retiring in 6 months? The 63-year-old has a 401k and a 403b. The 64-year-old has a pension and a 401k. Both have maximized their contributions. Other investments include stocks, bonds, T-bills, gold, annuities, and real estate. They have no outstanding debt, 2 children, both of which live in the same state, but they like to go visit, during their leisure time to go visit the kids. So walk us through how you would go about helping this couple.
The first thing that came to mind is they're retiring in 6 months. What age would they be at the time of retirement? Are they early 63, 64? What does that look like? But what I'm getting to is healthcare when they first start into retirement. Do they have any healthcare that's going to be provided by the company? If not, maybe the 64-year-old could go on the COBRA along with their spouse. But COBRA only lasts for so long. So then what does that do for the 63-year-old? Could they go all the way to 65 to get on a Medicare off the COBRA, or would they have to get private insurance? Then the other thing that comes to mind is, even if they can get COBRA through retirement, through work, should they? And the reason why I say that is because what would the premiums be, and what would the total cost of care be with the total out of pocket versus what if they went onto the marketplace?
Right.
Now, they have assets in different asset categories. So I would imagine there'd be a portion of that that's after tax, maybe even Roth. So I would be looking at what is their expenses to determine if we could do like a blended distribution to offset their premium tax credit on the Affordable Care Act. So Jackie, having that piece of information is so important. Now, the size of the accounts were not mentioned. That also will come into play, and that will come into play with income strategies, but also come into play with taxes. Taxes, required minimum distributions. Not knowing their size, they could be facing up to 2 to 3 tax time bombs in their financial plan. One would be required minimum distributions. That could really throw a ratchet into the tax analysis. And if you don't believe me, meet with me and have a one-on-one conversation about how that could really throw a curveball in there. But then the second one would be when one of them passes away. The surviving spouse will then have to do RMDs off of a single filing tax bracket, not a married couple filing jointly.
Oh.
And then the third tax time bomb would be how much money is left in the IRAs will then go to the beneficiaries. There was a mention of children that live in the area. So that money will then have to be taken out within 10 years. Well, if those children are having successful careers and they got income coming in, you could see, taxes eat away at what's going on there because it's ordinary income to them and they got to take it out within 10 years. So I would be looking at all these different facets. Those are just top of my mind. I'm liking this kind of conversation, Jackie. I mean, we're flowing here.
Yes.
I mean, so they can reach out, right? Text and clear to 600, 700. I want to get to the next one. Let's get to the next one, Jackie.
Okay, because it's making why don't they just, my opinion, why don't they just work till they're 65 so we can get this insurance thing handled? Because then they could go right onto Medicare.
Well, they could.
I mean, it's complicated otherwise.
Well, not necessarily. My job is to make what's complicated simplified.
All right. Thank goodness it's you and not me. I'm glad I have my job. I'm glad you have your job. So now they're waiting 2 more years to retire. Where who knows? Was there a health diagnostic there, or did they have loved ones pass away at a certain age? All this stuff comes into my mind, Jackie, that I think through. All right. And I very rarely ask, why do you want to retire at that age? It's because usually they have a well thought out answer. 20 years, no one has ever said, I've never thought of it. I'm like, you just picked an age out of the hat. That's unlikely. Okay, here's another scenario. A 71-year-old man with $900,000 saved for retirement, retiring in 30 days. He is saved in a 401k, contributing to the limit. Offered by his employer steadily over 20 years, right? He's single and in good health, has 2 children. His investments include stocks, bonds, commodities, real estate, precious metals, and annuity. He has 3 adult children who live in different states and would like to be active during his retirement to visit them when he wants to, save money for their futures, and travel on his own as well in retirement. I don't know why he's single with all that retirement money, but I'm just saying. Walk us through how you would help this man.
Call a different number, right? But no, call Jackie's. But no, so what I'm going into here, Jackie, that I'm thinking through off the top of my head is like, what are his expenses, his normal living expenses going to be? Looking at the essential and discretionary expenses, right? Just living life right here in a low country. Okay, but then let's start adding in other layers to that on what are your travel expenses looking like? Traveling to see one child may be a different cost than traveling to see another child, just with geographic area where they live and things of that nature. Okay, now I'm assuming that you're going to want to stay with them. That's what most people do when they travel is they stay with them. But would you also, because Jackie, you mentioned that he also likes to travel. So would he go and visit family and then go see that surrounding area and use that to parlay or travel from one child to the next? You also mentioned that he wanted to make sure that he's saving for them as well. Right, Jackie? I mean, yes. I don't have anything in front of me. So, yes. So when he said saving for them, that could be his children or grandchildren, right? Them. It would be who's them and what do you mean by saving for? Would that be for like college educational costs, or would that be for like their living expenses now? I've seen that. Would it be that they're doing fine? It's just that you want to help them out. Maybe they have debt that they're just trying to work through. We could look at gifting strategies as well. The big thing that I'm focusing on this scenario is what are those expenses? Because from the expenses, everything else could go and parlay off of.
I see.
I would also want to make sure we have a proper estate plan in place. Should we have a will-based plan or a trust-based plan, or a will, like a trust with a power of a will kind of scenario there? I would want to look at those different things, and then also titling of the assets that come into the estate plan. Like, does he have a TOD on his checking account and things of that nature? What about durable power of attorney and medical directive? He's already taken Social Security at 71. He's already going to be transitioning over to Medicare at retirement if he's not already on Medicare. So not as many things there. It's going to be really around those different things. RMDs are coming around the corner for him. And then what are the tax liabilities of that 900,000? How much is in pre-tax versus post-tax and Roth? That could be significant RMDs, and there could be opportunities to offset tax liability. So those are the things that came across in my head in that scenario.
You're channeling your answer from a higher power.
well, just you're seeing my mind work. I'm just doing it out loud. Yeah. But Jackie, if those that are listening or watching, when Jackie goes through the scenario, I want you to pause, okay? If you're watching, pause the video and write down the things that you would be looking at and see how close you are to the professional.